About 6 months ago, a small group of people ended up developing a bot that can track thousands of names added to a list and literally steals any of these within 2 seconds.
But he takes advantage of people that don't know this, logs into their bank, and he cleans out the whole bank. So I've had people message me with 7 bill plus banks cleaned.
Trading names is an extremely lucrative market. Some names go for literally billions of GP. They are also an unregulated market by Jagex. To trade them, it has to be a trust trade, and this has created a real problem with people sniping names, that is stealing them mid-trade. I spoke with 2 of the giant name traders to learn more about this market and how people are abusing it. Really fast, I don't take sponsorships, but my girlfriend and I make figurines out of hard plastic. I worked in aviation. I got laid off on Monday because of the pandemic. If you want to support me and my channel, now's a better time than ever to do it. You can get 25% off with the coupon code SUPPORT, and you can get $5 shipping if you live in Canada or US and your order is $25 or more. We hand paint every single one of these figurines. They're a great way to materialize your love for old school RuneScape. We never do sales this big, so it's a good time to take advantage of it if it's something you actually want. Check them out at the link below in the description. Okay, so the first person we have talking here is Alex. He's deeply involved in these markets, and my goal with him was to learn about how these markets work so we can later understand how the abuse is happening. Okay, so a big question is if trading RuneScape names is against the rules.
I've never heard of anyone getting banned after buying or selling a name. Jagex stated that buying or selling a name for GP is not against the rules. It's called a trust trade and can be very risky. So it is not against the rules as long as it doesn't involve real life money.
How does transferring these usernames actually work?
So basically, a name only becomes available when the owner changes name twice. But as soon as he changes his name a second time, the name becomes available for anybody to take it instantly. So the buyer and the seller needs to be extremely quick on the name transfer or have a middleman like myself execute the trade. Normally, people can only change their name once every 28 days, but there's an option on the bonds where you can unlock an extra name change instantly, which makes the transferring names possible.
What are the risks with trading these names, especially because some of them go for quite a bit of GP?
Well, the only risk when you come up to me or another high reputation name trader is if you're talking with an imposter. We deal with the risk of bot snipers, that's not an issue. To avoid this situation, they simply need to take 2 minutes of their time and look up a guide on YouTube on how to unlock Discord unique IDs. Discord names can be changed but not unique IDs. I do all my transfers via RS website. It is the most consistent and fastest way to get same tick transfers. In 2019, I lost 5 names out of approximately 500 transfers or so. So my success rate is very close to perfect.
Let me show you the prevalence of these imposters. Within minutes of posting in one of these name trading discords that you want to buy, an imposter will message you and try to scam you. Check this out. One of Bold's imposters, that's the guy that we'll interview later in the video, attempted to scam me. So I told this imposter that I was looking to buy a name. He gave me a list of names, and I wanted to see if he would lie and say that he basically has any name that somebody wants. I told him I was looking for the name Lily, and he said yeah, he has it. And he went on to say that he needs my account credentials, my account's bank PIN, and any authenticator that I have to do the transfer. So not only did he want to steal the 650 mil he was asking for, but he also wanted to get onto my account and clean it of anything else I might have. On top of that, I was talking to the real name seller Bold, and it turns out that this imposter created a fake account to look like mine, that is, it had the name Jacob, and he started messaging the real name seller, acting like me, to do a man-in-the-middle attack. If you're not familiar, a man-in-the-middle attack is where you act like both the buyer and the seller, and you're communicating with the real people who are actually buying and selling the name, or at least they want to be. That way you can play them both, and they'll never know what happened until it's too late. This is why it's so important that you make sure with Discord unique IDs that you're talking to the real person. What makes a name valuable?
To be fair, a lot of names are costly. Anything that is an actual word and isn't too long has value. Like any 2 letters, 2 characters, 2 digits, 1 characters, of course, are good. Even colors, planets, animals, RS common terms like cities, skills, attack styles, etc. There's just an insane amount of names that has value. The rarity of an arson can vary the price drastically. Common words can vary from a small amount to several hundred mils. Generally speaking, shorter words will be a lot more valuable. Animals, colors, high-roll names, iconic characters in video games and TV, etc. can all exceed 1 bill with ease. The rarest names by far are single character names, of course. The last time one was traded, to my knowledge, was summer of 2018, which speaks to how rare these names exchanges hands. I get my rare arsons by users of a black market coming to me and selling them. In addition to my reputation there as a verified trader and a large donor, I also have the largest name trading Discord with hundreds of users online at any time of the day. Names usually will come to me by my reputation alone and for the safety I give to players looking to buy, sell, or use me as a middleman. You've probably seen many different Reddit posts where people would get randomly hacked and had their name stolen. Well, these are most likely true. It's difficult for us to be like 100% sure if the name was stolen and directly sold to us. It did happen in the past, sadly, and it will keep happening. There's nothing we can do about it besides like telling people to be more cautious with their accounts, especially if they have a high value name on there.
One thing I've heard about is these bots that snipe names, and I wonder if they're really a big issue. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, of course. About 6 months ago, a small group of people ended up developing a bot that can track thousands of names added to a list and literally steals any of these within 2 seconds. Any names you could consider as super rares, and every single names that have been publicly posted by people on the market, even months ago, sadly. These snipers started off by selling back a few of those names legitimately, so people trusted them, but it turned out they scammed many players for bills pretending to have insane names, such as 1 letters, which was obviously false. I've anti-scammed a couple names from them with the help from our community, and have returned the names to the victims. Since then, they have stopped reselling and have been hoarding tons of high-quality names. They try to avoid bans by moving the names to another account, which you get quick levels on to make it look legit. I've had the help from others and finally reached out to JMods, who ended up banning around 75 of their names for approximately 50 bill a month ago. They will keep doing this until Jagex comes up with a patch, unfortunately.
Hold on, can you actually explain this to me? Why do they make another account to try to make it look legit?
He's been... Alright, so we got him banned for 50 bill, right? Like a month ago. Ever since, to avoid bans, I feel like he's removing it from the IP he stole it to another account with a different IP, so it looks like the person bought it on it. Instead of like bot sniping it, he legit bought it. He thinks he's gonna avoid bans by moving these names from the stolen account to another fresh level 3 account. I was unlucky this year, and those 5 names I've lost together adds up to a total of approximately 7.4 bill 07. It doesn't take much for us to lose a name. RS website been unstable this past month since the addition of the authenticator. A simple 1 second lag and I can lose billions. 03, Leo, and Bag were all lost within this past month due to website lag, so it did hurt the budget a ton. I've been trying to reach out to Jagex and have some help from them, but looks like they don't care at the moment. Only thing I can do right now is to educate the community to ensure they know about this huge problem, and to not transfer any rare names without a proper middleman until this is fixed, which may take a very long time, sadly.
Okay, the next person that we're going to speak to is Bold, and he goes into a deep dive about the actual abuse that's happening in this market.
I guess we can start with imposters because they are a big issue. Name selling and just in the black market in general, right? What they really do is they prey on the most trusted people or the people that have the most rep or the most vouchers. You got me?
So these are the people that like do the most sales.
Exactly, the ones that do the most sales. And usually imposters target name sellers because it's easier to get people with names by lying and saying that they have their desired name, like, oh, like their real life name or something, you know, when they really don't have it. And they use like Photoshop to like make it look like it on the website or the inspect element to make it seem like they have that name. But the only way to determine if a name is legit is if you get a message from them in the game. That's literally the only way. So it's a good piece of information for the viewers to know if they are trying to chase their name. You got me? Their dream name. But to kind of go more into detail about these imposters, they usually sit in the most big black market servers, including mine, and wait for people to post like, oh, I'm looking for the name Jacob. And then they'd go, oh, my friend has this name. And the profile would be exact to what mine looks like. Even the numbers look the same, you know? But what people need to know is that Discord is case sensitive. So lowercase bold, B-O-L-D, is a different user than what mine is, capital case bold, you know? And then people don't realize that and they get scammed.
Right, yeah, because they can get the exact same ID. Like I think with Nitro they can even set it, right?
Exactly. With Nitro, it's really easy to just target well-known people, and it's a shame because it's so easy to get scammed.
And so the way to protect yourself from this is the Discord unique IDs, right?
Yes. You know, so you can verify for sure that it is the right person.
I mean, it's happened to me. There was one person that used a special character that was invisible. So it was the exact same ID, it looked the exact same, and he was messaging people from my Discord asking for some lens.
There you go. And with you, since you're a YouTuber, you know, like they go more after the lens. With me, they go after, oh, I have this name. Like, oh, I need to go on your account and I need your PIN and I need your authenticator. Which is not true, by the way. When I run a name transfer service, I don't need to go on your account. I don't need to know your bank PIN. You know, I can just go via the RuneScape website. But he takes advantage of people that don't know this, logs into their bank, and he cleans out the whole bank. So I've had people message me with 7 bill plus banks cleaned. Literally. It's really sad every time it happens.
How often does this happen?
Every other day, there's at least one person that gets scammed in some sort of way by my imposter. It makes me feel like I wish there was something I can do, but there really isn't. I put notifications everywhere that, hey, a fake this guy will add you. He will tell you you have your dream name, but it really isn't. You know, it's really fake.
People got to be super diligent about that.
It's like beyond diligent. When I first joined, I got scammed for 4 bill because I thought I was talking to a trusted user. He logged onto my account, cleaned my entire bank. It was tragic.
God. Okay. Well, another thing I was really curious about is people sniping names that are being traded.
Oh, geez. Yeah, this one is... I put down some notes for this because there's a lot of stuff about this. Basically, with name sniping, there is one person responsible for this at the moment. 99.9% of names are being sniped by one person, right? Who is this person? He is a well-known guy in like the black market community. He a hacker kind of guy. Very smart coder who's worked for coding. This is all I know about him. He works for a coding company or something, but he coded this program, right? It's very, very powerful with name sniping. And even Alex and I, we mess up and we get sniped for names that are worth bills, you know? And I have some examples I can talk about later of names that he has sniped. He has impacted many well-known people too. But as you know, and probably Alex talked about it, Jagex does not return names almost under any circumstances, unless they're a well-known person or you get lucky. Like I've had one name returned from Jagex that got sniped by him, and it was a miracle. You know, I was really happy. But I've had maybe I'm counting 7 or 8 really expensive names that have gotten sniped by him, and that he still owns.
Yeah, Alex actually sent me a list of names that have been sniped, like a big list of really high value names. He did mention too that Jagex has this policy where you can't hoard names, and for a while there was an attempt to get all the names that he was sniping removed or banned.
They successfully did it, actually. I think one of the clan leaders and one of the major clans of RuneScape, one of the leaders went after him and reported all of his names, and they got maybe 40 or 50 names banned, which is good, but it's also sad because all those names were taken off innocent players that didn't know any better, that were trying to change the name to their alt account, you know? They were trying to swap the name to their Iron Man. They were trying to swap the name to their main, and vice versa. And they had no idea that there's this bot that's such a powerful bot, you know, that is running. And that is partly why Alex and I decided to, contact you for this. So people that own rare names, if you think your name is rare, just don't transfer it or use this transfer service. But it's really bad right now. Yeah, you gotta be super fast, and it can't even be more than a second of time that is open. Like that's how bad it is.
Alex
now.
mentioned that like the names he's lost have been from like a tiny bit of lag on the website. Like that's it.
Yep, the one that I lost, it was literally a 2-second stall.
What would you like to see Jagex do to prevent this from being a problem?
Obviously, it's one guy, right? So they need to look into this one guy and see exactly how he can detect if a name is available to snipe. That is what's alarming. He doesn't really sell them because he can't. He's a well-known scammer. You got
Yeah,
me? He's a
that's
well-known-
another thing I
Yeah.
noticed too. On the black market that name trades happen. There's this list of like names that have been sniped, and it's like don't trade
Exactly.
these.
If you wanna for the video, just go into my Discord and scroll through them quickly. I used to have a whole a channel dedicated to names that are sniped. It's
Okay.
called Names to Avoid.
Will do.
And basically like every name there has been sniped, and there's so many. There's names that are very bad. You wouldn't think anyone would snipe, but this guy can target thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of names. He doesn't care if they're shitty, like as long as he has them on his list, he will snipe them from you in less than a few seconds.
It poses a bigger problem too because number one, this guy's banned on the markets that names are traded on, so he has no incentive to actually give you the name that he sniped in the first place, right? And just take your money and run.
Exactly. And like what has happened is that people have gone to him to try to buy their names back that have gotten sniped, and then they just get scammed again. Probably has close to 200 names by now, all sniped.
Yeah, I think the list Alex sent me was 160 in total or something crazy
Yep.
like that. So when did this guy first start sniping names that you're aware of?
Probably around a year ago. And before then happened, but it was always done manually. Someone just staring at the friends list or like spam clicking, waiting for it to happen. I should bring this up too because it's important, because Jagex doesn't return names, because sometimes what people will do is they'll sell a name, right? So like to me, for example, and then they'll say, oh, my account got hacked. Oh, the name got sniped by this guy. Can you return it? Once I had already given them the gold, right?
Right, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense why they wouldn't do
That's
that.
why.
Out of general curiosity, so I've had like two kind of good names, but I got them like really cheap. Like I got Flop in 2013 and I paid 50 million GP for it, and I got Crumb like right after a name reset and I paid 30 mil for it. How much are those worth now?
Firstly, names have always been going up in price constantly, right? Due to many being banned, like this guy has taken many good names out of the market. And over time, from 2018 when I started, the prices of names, like I think I bought Inferno for 300 mil. Inferno now would be like 3-4 bill. Your name, Flop, is a 4-letter word, so it would probably be worth close to 1 bill.
Oak Dice has the name Her. I assume that one's like multiple bills.
Oh yeah, her would be worth. I know how much he paid. I won't say that. He paid not as much as how it would be now. Like I had the name His at the time, which is funny, and I asked him if he wanted to buy it, and he didn't want it. But like His at the time, I was only trying to sell for 300 mil. Now it would be like 1.5. Yours, Flop, would be like close to 1 bill. Crumb, like also like close to 1 bill, maybe 1 bill. It's quite a lot of money. Names go for a lot of money nowadays. And like the top rarest names, like one character names have been traded in a while, right? Because they're mostly banned, bound, or the people that own it never will sell, right?
Yeah. Actually,
but-
can you talk a little bit about bound names? This is where people have like requested to Jagex.
There are certain names across every any possible name that are bound to the account. This is in which a name can't be transferred. So I couldn't say if your name Flop was bound, I wouldn't be able to change it to my account or sell the name. Most one character names are bound, right? A lot of one character names have been sold for real life money in the past, real traded. So when Jagex feels that a name has been passed around a lot, the guy that originally owned the name says it's hacked, they'll put it on the account and they'll bind the name. Jagex has not bound a name in the last year, except the last time that they bound a name occurred with me, so I can explain it. Basically, sadly, with names, there comes a lot of people that hack accounts to try to get rare names off them. And this guy hacked a rare name, a really desirable animal name, 3-letter animal name. It's right now would be worth like 3-4 bill, right? And I sold it to a maxed caper guy, total max account, and Jagex they literally yoinked the name off his account and put it on the original account it was on. Apparently, it was a high-level RuneScape 3 player. It was actually inactive, but Jagex kind of caught that it was hacked, right? They didn't ban anyone. They just returned the name and sent a message to the guy, hey, this name was hacked. Jagex sent a message to the guy, hey, this name was hacked and it was, we advise you not to buy names in the future, like, as this stuff can happen. Thanks. That's basically what they said to him in like a inbox message.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
And there are also many big names, this is important too, that can't be swapped, even though they are not bound, because they might have something offensive in it. An example, NIG, NIG, it's totally blacklisted by Jagex, right? So names like Knight, Midnight, Knight, like a knight in shining armor, those names, if you try to swap them, they'll be instantly deleted. How like the name fuck is like deleted, you can't, no one has it, right?
Right. Like when you go to like set a profile name now, there's like some restrictions based on
Exactly. So basically one time the singles team Kanini, they're called Kanini. Some guy had the name Kanini and they wanted it for their team. And I'm like, okay, I'll do the transfer. We're arranging it. I swapped the name and it gets instantly deleted. Right? And I'm like, and they think I'm playing them and I think I've scammed them. I'm like, dude, like check the friends list. Like there's no existence of this name.
Yeah.
And they had and they check and we're all just dumbfounded. Like what happened? And then we went to Mod Acorn and Mod Acorn told us, oh, like for some reason the name Kanini shows up as like a bad word. Even though I'm not really sure how the word Kanini, like there's some hybrids, very rare hybrids of names that for some reasons get deleted. There's only two, Kanini and WI. For some reason, Jagex think WI means something really bad or something to
it's
them.
probably
So
that's probably some bug in their like bad name detection filter.
Yeah, and they're like it's some sort of bug, and like those times have gotten deleted, and we've had to like hit up like, hey, mod, like Weath or something, like, hey dude, or Acorn, like, hey dude, like the name got deleted. The name Cop, for example, was another one. So this is just a few examples.
And with that, I had no more questions. I hope you guys had as much fun watching this as I did making it. Don't forget about those cute little figurines, 25% off with the coupon code SUPPORT, and $5 shipping on all orders over $25 going to Canada or the US. We never do sales like this. This is like a one-time thing because of the situation I'm currently in. I've got a lot of free time to work on this, so take advantage of it. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Love, peace, and chicken grease.